Tunakwambia mambo na career inakueje. Madam Joyce Mghoi, director from the Office of Career, Chuka University, got you covered today. And of course every Tuesday atakuwa anakupea mambo tamu tena zaidi. Wewe ni mwanafunzi ushafanya mtihani pale, mambo yako inakwenda sege mnege hauelewi, na pia atakuwa anakuambia mambo ya wanamuita bimsafari wa huku. Atakuwa anakuandalia mambo itakuwa ni tamu tena zaidi. Jamani msikilizaji wangu, tupo kwa ajili yako tena. Madam Joyce Mghoi, welcome once again. Last Tuesday hatukuwa pamoja
last Tuesday.
The other Tuesday we had a good topic, lakini hatukuifanya because ya mambo na kidogo. Because sasa leo tuko hapa msikilizaji kukwambia kumalizia wa topic. It's all about toxic relationships.
Yeah. And how they affect careers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now just before to end up Madam Joyce Mghoi, today you look very smart.
Thank you.
Na remember unaweza kufuatilia mahojiano haya baada ya mahojiano kamilia na kwa mtandao wake wa YouTube, na mambo itakuwa inaitwa Amazing Grace ama
Touch of Grace KE. Touch of Grace KE.
Yeah. That's so good. It will be there for you kama utakuwa umekosa haya ya leo. Lakini that aside, matokeo yalitoka siku ya yani Saturday. Kuna watu walipita, but Madam Joyce Mghoi surprisingly hizi zilikuwa mingi sana.
Hizi zilikuwa nyingi sana.
Mbona hii ni mingi kuliko hizi Madam Mghoi?
Kwa sababu hamkusoma. Mkisoma mnapita tu.
Madam Joyce, kuna mahali pata hii na ukiongea hivyo anasikia
anasikia nimemgusa.
Yes.
Kunaweza kuwa na sababu nyingi za kupata hii. Lakini kile kitu nataka kuambia wanafunzi hata wale wako shule saa hizi wasikubali kupata hii. Kwa sababu kupata hii ni kama hakuna kitu ulishika hata kidogo kwa hiyo shule. Na si kweli. Kuna mambo umeshika kwa kweli. Kwa hivyo wajizatiti, waweke bidii, wasipate hiyo hii. Hivyo tu ndo naweza kuambia.
Wow. I saw you in one of the meeting, ilikuwa ya virtual meeting.
Yes, virtual meeting with class 8.
Yeah.
I had a virtual meeting with the class 8 wenye wanaenda form 1. Na pia niko na ingine ya form 4 this weekend on Saturday and on Monday. Form 4s ambao sasa wamepata mtihani.
Yeah.
Wanataka kujua ni nini tutafanya. How can we go about it? CUSIP's process.
Yeah.
You know, how to select a course, how to check what is it that you can be able to do, the qualifications and all that. How they can do that. And then the opportunities that are there in technical institutes. What else can someone do if you didn't get C+ and above to go to the university? What else can you be able to do?
You know, Madam Joyce Mghoi can speak everything literally before even we dig deep into her.
Tunaweza malizana na hii topic ya toxic relationship tuongee careers zingine. Na form 4s.
Yeah.
But it is well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was just kugusia tujue kile ambacho kinajiri.
Yes.
Labda siku nyingine utaambia more about CUSIPs because some wanachaguliwa. Can somebody change a university, Madam?
Yes, you can.
Wow,
you can change.
Tuachane na hiyo.
Toxic relationships. Otherwise, yes, toxic relationships and how they can affect careers. Kwanza toxic relationship ni nini? Toxic relationship ni where individuals in a relationship are not comfortable. They are not comfortable in a relationship. Either their communication is not comfortable, either the way they are relating to each other is not comfortable, and they are not able to live. That is now how it becomes toxic. Because you are there, it doesn't work. You are there again tomorrow. You are there again next month. You are still there. You are still there for a year, for 2 years and so on. It becomes toxic. Ni kama uko addicted na hiyo relationship ambayo si nzuri. Relationship si nzuri, lakini ni kama uko addicted nayo. Hutoki, hujitoi kwa hiyo relationship. Ndio tunaita toxic relationship.
Madam Joyce, you know it is very hard. Yesterday I had a conversation with a friend, a very religious friend just like me, balancing between toxic relationship. We talked about Osinachi. She's so religious.
Yes.
And now, Madam, balancing between toxic relationship and religion. Mimi siwezi divorce.
You shouldn't balance. Actually, hakuna kubalance hapo.
Nitoke.
Utoka tu. You know, roho safi.
Divorce, Mungu anakataa.
Mungu anakataa.
Yes.
Lakini Mungu hapendi tukiteseka. Kwa kweli Mungu hapendi tukiteseka. Anatupenda sana. Na kwa hivyo tusipitie mateso. Tusipitie mateso. Kwa hivyo kama wewe unajipata ukipitia mateso ukisema ati kwa sababu divorce haikubaliki nitakaa pale, basi ufanye kile Mungu anataka. Mungu anataka uishi maisha ambayo uko happy, unafurahia maisha na sio maisha ya kuteseka. Yesu aliteseka wa mwisho.
Sisi hatufai kuteseka.
Hatufai kuteseka. Not when we can do something about it. Unajua kuna kule kuteseka, there is nothing you can do about it. And kuna kule kuteseka, you can do something about it. So if you can do something about it, do something about it. Lakini usiteseke. Usiteseke. So toxic relationships, relationships where there is abuse. And abuse can be emotionally, abuse can be physically, abuse can be spiritually. Kama hiyo sasa, mtu anaamka asubuhi every day anakukotia the Bible verse na kusema God hates divorce, so you cannot leave this place. You know, that is spiritual abuse. Spiritual abuse for real. And then there is mental abuse. So that is toxic relationship where you are mentally abused, you are physically abused, you are spiritually abused, you are emotionally abused. That is toxic relationship. And especially if you cannot move from that place, it becomes toxic. It becomes addicting.
You know, when we talk about toxic relationship, Madam Joyce, people think that it applies to female only. Can toxic relationship apply to men at the same time?
Toxic relationship, actually, it comes in various forms. You can have a gentleman being abused and is not able to leave. And as actually, there are so many men that are abused and they are not able to leave because also of the cultural belief that mwanaume hafai hafai kulia, hafai kusema, hafai kupitia some of those challenges. He should man up and take control of the situation. Lakini wanaume wanachapwa. Lakini wanaume wanapitia verbal abuse, very verbal abuse, serious verbal abuses. Wanaume wanapitia mambo. So, yes, a man can be in a toxic relationship and be unable to live. Be unable to live that relationship because of all those other things that we will look at, reasons why people don't live toxic relationships. And by the way, it is not where we talk about sexual relationships that are abusive. You can also be in a family which is abusive. Your mother is abusive to you. Your father is abusive to you. Your brother is abusive, or your sister is abusive. Or your male-to-male friend. These are your friends, yes. It's male-to-male. Actually, there is nothing in there. But again, you cannot leave these friends. And yet, they keep abusing every now and then. So, yes, a man can be in a toxic relationship. A lady can be in a toxic relationship. You can also have a toxic relationship in a family situation where maybe your mother is abusing you, your father is abusing you, your sister is abusing you, and sometimes we can also be in churches that are abusing us.
For family, we can divorce. For churches,
tunaweza toka.
Lakini marriage tunaweza toka, for friends tunaweza toka.
Yes, lakini sasa kwa family, it becomes very difficult. It becomes very difficult, and that's why we have counseling, we have people that can be able to help you to be able to deal with that situation. Because sometimes there are situations that you may not be able to escape. But even when you're not able to escape, there is something you can do about them. There is something you can do about them to be able to survive in that particular scenario. So there are all those situations that are there, and there is help and there is hope. Because people are losing their lives, Chacha.
Sure.
Damaris. Agnes, Tirop. Osinachi. And those are not the only ones. We have students that are losing their lives. Students that are in the university, and then they are losing their lives also because of these toxic relationships. You hear someone telling you, ukiniacha, utaniacha, unless we die, both of us.
But now this again, Madam Joyce, in apply, because I saw one in a student from Meru.
Yes.
Now, to the law itself. Is it trying to favor some gender and leaving some other gender when it comes to these toxic? Unajua kuna ile kitu nilikuwa naona, I had a friend. Mwanaume wewe ndio unachapwa. You have a family. Wewe ndio unachapwa, lakini mwenye analia ni mwanamke. Sijui
but now ile jambo inatokea Chacha, si kwa sababu law ina favor a certain gender. Law doesn't favor a certain gender. The only challenge is men don't come out to speak about these things as much as ladies. Ladies will scream on top of their voices and everybody will know that they have been abused. But men don't do that. Anakufa kiume, as you are saying. So that's why you may find that it looks like it is the men that are abusing more than the ladies. But the fact is, all of them are being abused. It's only that the men don't talk about it much. Wanaume wanavumilia. Sana sana wanavumilia. So that's why it is looking like when it is a woman that has been battered, you are all up in arms. The other reason is that for a long time, women have been the weaker sex and the weaker gender. And for a long time, men have abused women. But now, the reverse may be taking place because women have been empowered. A number of NGOs, they are only focusing on women. They are focusing on girl child. What happens to the boy child? So the boy child amebakia pale chini, wakati the girl child ameinuliwa. So they are more empowered. They are more empowered in the sense that there are things that they cannot be able to take. But what is happening to our boys? You know, they are remaining there. They are taking a lot of abuse and so on. So it's not that the law is selective. No.
Wow.
Yes.
That is Madam Joyce Mghoi, msikilizaji anazidi kupea vitu vitamu tu ndani ya 98.8 FM, nakwambia it is career. Huko pale your family member jamani, ni mambo matamu nazidi kuyasikia kutoka hapa. Gentleman jamani, zungumza. Wanaume msikufe kinyinyinyi.
Wasikufe moyo.
Waongee pia.
Waongee.
So madam, hii na nadharia ya kwamba kufa kimwanaume. Sometimes unaweza kufa kimwanaume kufa kabisa. So there's another thing nilikuwa nataka tuangalie Madam Joyce. Tuligusia last time round but nilikuwa nataka tuiguzie. Kazi. Mimi niko na toxic relationship nyumbani. Unajua kuna ile ulisema unajikakamua, mambo ya nyumbani yabaki nyumbani, mambo ya kazi lakini deep down ni mazee kule nyumbani siku nzuri.
Kule nyumbani siku nzuri.
Balancing toxic relationship kule na kazi, career.
And that's why we are saying that toxic relationships affect careers. They do affect careers. They can affect positively or they can affect negatively. Relationships generally, not toxic relationships, but relationships affect careers, either positively or negatively. So if we have a toxic relationship, it will affect your career negatively. Like sasa wewe ni mwanahabari, unaweza kuwa uko na abusive or toxic relationship kule nyumbani. Ukija hapa huwezi smile, huwezi cheka, uko na stress. Unajua huwezi fanya kazi yako vizuri, huwezi ifanya vizuri. Unaweza kuwa pale physically mwili lakini mentally uko off kwa sababu ya yale umepitia. That means your career is being affected. Then you cannot be able to progress because you are fearing to progress. You are fearing to progress because sometimes even toxic relationships come in the sense that one of the partners is what can I say, is insecure. One of the partners is insecure if their partner is moving or progressing well in careers. So someone may just fear even to look for promotion or to look for better jobs because they are fearing because the other partner is a bit insecure. And also we say it affects careers because it kills someone. Like now, Damaris is gone. Tirop is gone. Osinachi is gone. What happens to their career? Their career is gone. Basically, completely gone because of that. Other than that, their careers of the people around them also is affected. Like if you look like Osinachi. Osinachi has children. The trauma of seeing the parents, you know, in that abusive relationship, that trauma itself blocks them from progressing well in their own lives. It brings in what we call low self-esteem. It brings in, you know, things that the children are not able to be assertive because of what they have gone through when they are young. So it does not only kill the careers of those people that are involved, it kills the careers of those people that are around those particular people. So yes, it actually kills careers. And then a good relationship enhances career. A good relationship enhances career, where you get support. It can be financial, it can be, you know, emotionally, you know, mentally, you are getting support, you are being told, you are being cheered on. You know, the way you are cheered on. Go, you know, you can do this, you can do the other. So again, a good relationship can actually enhance your career. It can enhance your career. It can increase energy levels. It can make you happy, you know, even when you're working, and you become progressive and you become more productive in your work.
Kuna mtu akona swali.
Yes.
Anasema, hello CJ, uliza madam umuulize kwamba I have been in a relationship and my partner has been working in secret projects. Is our relationship being toxic in a way? Is there something cooking? Now, secret project. Ninajenga nyumba na nunua ploti sikwambii.
Is there
something cooking?
Whether there is something cooking, there are trust issues. It may not be really toxic, but there are trust issues. There are trust issues and there are communication issues. If your partner is doing some secret projects, something is wrong. Either you are not contributing to them. That's why they are saying, nikuambie nisikuambie, hakuna kitu utanisaidia. So they go ahead and do their secret projects. Or they are not even committed in that particular relationship. Also lack of commitment, that they don't value the relationship. So if it ends, after all, they have something for themselves. So there are a number of issues that can make partners invest secretly and not tell their other partners. Either maybe the partners are not contributing, either there is no proper commitment, that other person is not committed to that relationship, or there is no communication between them, and therefore you find someone is investing secretly. But if that happens, then you, who is affected, know that there are trust issues there. So therefore you need trusted. Definitely. You are not trusted, and probably they don't want to move together with you. That's why they are moving alone. There is this story in Facebook where people say that there is a man that is in the hospital and he has just discovered that the house they have been renting for the last 5 years belongs to the wife. There are those kinds of stories. Yeah. How true they are, I don't know. But if that happens, that means there are trust issues in that relationship, communication issues in that relationship, and lack of commitment in that relationship. So
communication, Madam Joyce, is inaweza zikaleta relationship to an end.
Yes,
definitely.
Very much. Because the other person who is left out feels like, it means we are not together. If you cannot communicate this, you cannot tell me this, that you're doing this, you're doing the other, that means we are not together. So yes, it can actually affect relationships. Actually, relationships is communication. They start with communication. They start with communication, enhanced communication, and so if you're not communicating well with your partner, there is something wrong with that relationship.
So madam, kuna kitu hapa huyu labda hajajibiwa bado. Hii kitu mimi ameinvest. Sasa nimwambie nini mpaka kwa gaining trust.
Handle it. Yeah. You handle it. You handle it. You talk to the partner and really get to know the reasons why they are investing without informing you. Then from the reasons they give you, then you know whether your relationship is going to stand or not. Because it could be a birthday present for you. Now, so ni vile wewe umediscover kabla haijaisha,
Punguze haraka.
Usiwe na haraka. Inaweza kuwa hii ni birthday present gift for you ama anniversary gift. Kwa hivyo amekuwa akiinvest pale pole ndio ikuwe kama surprise. So you may start getting annoyed. So communicate, talk to your partner, get to know the reasons why they are investing without you, if you get to discover in between. But it may not be as bad as you are thinking unless you talk to them and discover why they are doing that.
That is Madam Joyce Mghoi, jamani. Wacha kurukia surprise.
Inaweza kuwa birthday gift.
Na wewe hujui.
Yes.
So Madam Joyce,
yes.
Definitely I think they have been answered. But now let's take a short break, msikilizaji. We are coming back with many more from Madam Joyce Mghoi.
Yes.
I think jamani, mwanaume Madam Joyce amesema ukipatwa na shida just communicate, usinyamaze pale.
Usiumie.
You there, wewe ni a partner. Ukiona mtu wako anawaka pale na secret project, wacha kuwa na pupa. Tulia, that is a secret.
Inaweza kuwa anniversary gift. Na wewe uko pale unasema sijui hapana. Keep it cool. Maybe anataka surprise. Dakika ni 33 baada ya 7 asubuhi. Mpango hewani ni breakfast show. Uko pale unatusikiza jamani, na kukaribisha nikiwaambia karibu tena zaidi. Hewani tunaye Madam Joyce Mghoi from the office of Career Chuka University Radio. She's our director around. Kuna topic ambayo ni nzuri sana kuhusu toxic relationship na career. Uko pale unatusikiza jamani, usicheze mbali. Mpango hewani nimekukumbusha kwa ni breakfast. Unataka kuchangia mjadala wako jamani, tembea pale Twitter, Instagram, Facebook kama Chuka University Radio. Vile kama wewe ni team SMS, nambari SMS iko wazi 0114506611. Madam Joyce Mghoi,
Tumerudi tena.
Yes.
Na kuna kitu inaitwa red flags.
Yes.
Zimekuwa zikitembea hapo ukipita social media.
Red flags.
Ananiambia huyu ni uncle, ananiambia huyu ni auntie. So red flags, Madam Joyce Mghoi.
Yes.
What about them?
I'm a warning signs.
Warning sign.
How can you know?
Yes.
I think I am in an abusive relationship. How can you tell yourself, or how can you sit down and say, I think this is a toxic relationship.
Yes.
The red flags, the warning signs, what are they? Like, if you find that in your relationship you fight a lot, that is a red flag. It's a red flag. If every time you're fighting, that's the red flag. Then if one of the partners is controlling, if your partner is so controlling, yeye ndiye mwenye kusema. You know, hakuna kitu unaweza fanya. Final say. Hakuna kitu unaweza fanya kama hujamconsult, kama hujamuuliza. You know, ukifanya hivyo, then everything goes, you know, west. You know, he quarrels or she quarrels. The controlling person who is controlling, there's nothing you can do unless you have consulted them, unless you have talked to them. You cannot make a decision on your own. Even when sometimes we make spontaneous decisions because of the situation that is there. Him or her does not allow that. You must consult them at all time. A controlling partner. If he or she, cuts you off from your friends or family. By the way, that's one of the greatest family signs. If you are in a relationship and initially you are communicating with your parents, initially you had friends, good friends whom you are hanging out together with. But now because of this relationship, you totally cannot have a friend, you totally cannot communicate with your parents, you cannot even call them, you are cut off from your friends, you're cut off from your relatives. That is a toxic relationship. If the person shows anger and temper tantrums, hasira, anavunja vikombe, anavunja glass, next atakuvunja wewe, that is very true. So if they have a temper tantrum, they shout, they break things and so on in an argument. An argument cannot be, productive because they are in anger and so on. That's a sign of a toxic relationship. If they get jealous, they get jealousy of you, get jealousy of the job you're doing, get jealousy when someone compliments you, get jealousy of, anything. Jealous to an extent of hitting you.
Wivu ndogo ndogo.
When they hit you, that's a toxic relationship. You need to run. If they are abusive sexually, if they are abusive physically, if they are abusive verbally, because even when it is verbal, they have not beaten you, but that will also affect you.
Wamekuchapa kimaneno.
And it will affect your self-esteem. Then if they have ungodly habits, habits that are off, haieleweki. Like some relationships where people are being forced to watch pornography. That's abusive. Really, that's abusive. When they stalk you, when they are watching you, yani when you are going to class, them they are behind you. Umewacha kwa nyumba, lakini umeacha kwa nyumba lakini hujawaacha kwa nyumba. Kumbe wamekufuata kuangalia what is or what you are doing, or where you are going, or who you are talking to. That's an abusive relationship.
Some even employ people kukuangalia. Mkimwona hapo nipigie simu.
Ama fuate alafu utaniambia alikuwa wapi. That is an abusive relationship. Wow. When you find that you are walking on eggshell in your relationship, yani there are things you can't say, there are things you can't do, there are things you cannot, you are walking on eggshell, then that is a toxic relationship. When there is manipulation, when they keep telling you, if you do this, I'll leave you. If you do this, I will do that. If you do this, that is a toxic relationship.
Kama anakutishia.
Anakutishia maisha.
Ukifanya
hivi mimi nitafanya nini?
Siwende.
Wanakupatia kutishia maisha every time. Yes. If it is one-sided, if you find that you are the only one on toes, unajua kuna relationship where someone is on toes. You are the one who is on toes, following that relationship, calling them, checking on them. You are the one who is doing that. Ukiamua for the next 3 days sitapiga simu hata mimi nione, hawatapiga.
Hana credit. Hana bundles. Hana SMS.
Sometimes hana, lakini sometimes. So if you find that it is one-sided, it's like it's only you who is really pushing
making
it.
efforts.
Yes, making effort. Then there is something wrong with that relationship. If you feel insecure, if you feel insecure every time, even when they tell you I have a job in Nairobi, you're feeling so insecure. You're not, there's something wrong. Can imagine that kind of a thing. If you're codependent or you find that you must do things together, you must talk together, there are things that you must do together. That means that relationship is toxic. When they are possessed with, probably like nowadays we have phones.
Yeah.
You will find that someone is possessed with your phone. Every time you're with them, they are checking, they are what. Who is your friend in Facebook? Facebook, you can even have friends that you don't know.
You have more friends in Facebook than real life.
Actually, you don't even know some of them.
Exactly.
There are many friends in Facebook, you don't know them. You don't know them at all. So you will find that they start asking you, who is this? And it is on Facebook. They are possessed with your phone. They are possessed with everything that you do on your social media page. They are possessed about it. And they keep on following you and asking you questions and so on. Something is wrong.
Sorry for diverting you on that, madam.
Yes.
Mambo na simu.
Yes.
Mimi sasa hii simu kidogo tu kienda.
Najua simu ina shida kidogo.
Should we touch to sorore simu za our partners?
We don't need to. We don't need to if you trust them. But if you don't trust them, then utasorora. The reason why I'm saying you don't need to sorora is because when you are sororaring, it means you're having doubts. It means you are suspecting.
Insecure.
You are insecure. And already, if in your relationship you are insecure, you cannot trust each other, that relationship is wrong in the first place, isn't it? Because if the person has said yes to you, and you have said yes to them, that alone is supposed to give you confidence. But now if you start going to check, who was he talking to, who is WhatsApp, who is what, that shows there is lack of what? There is lack of trust. Now, if someone is not trustworthy, if someone is unfaithful, if someone, is doing things behind your back, one day you'll collide with the information, but you may not have been searching for it. You may collide with it. And actually, under normal circumstances, you will collide with that information. Even things like, ebu nipitishie hiyo simu yangu hapa. Sa ile inaenda kupitishwa hivi ka message kanakuja ta. Alafu kanapia pale kwa. Mambo ya simu ni mengi, and maybe another day we will talk about them. When people make you feel bad about yourself, that's a toxic relationship. When you are with them, you try to do things that you normally cannot do. Under normal circumstances, that means that's a toxic relationship. If they don't listen to you, if you are not friends with them, you are not friends. You are just like, you are a wife. You are just there to be seen, but you really don't talk.
It should go more than a wife.
Yeah, it should be more than a wife. You're actually a friend.
Wow.
Actually, in relationships, there should be that friendship. There should be that friendship.
Wow.
When they don't support your goals, when they don't compliment you, when the relationship is all about them. The relationship is all about them. Every time they're talking is about them. They never think about anybody else. That means there is something wrong with those kinds of relationships. But there must be more than one of those signs, not just one, and then you start saying, I think this one is a toxic relationship. There must be, many factors that make you think, I think this may be a toxic relationship. And I want to say this. If your relationship doesn't work, the two of you, the relationship doesn't work, doesn't mean have a beautiful relationship with somebody else. I think people need to know that, so that they can know there's what we call combination. You can combine two people and it is explosive. And you can remove them, you can separate them and pair them with some other people, and they are calm. They are very peaceful, perfect. And their relationship is just beautiful.
Wow.
Yes.
That is Madam Mghoi. Now, Madam Mghoi.
Yes.
Tumeona red flags.
Yes, tumeona red flags.
Lakini even after red flags,
yes.
Hutaki kutoka. Umepewa nini?
People stay in toxic relationships because they don't know anything better, or they fear. There's a lot of fear. They don't want to move. They don't want to leave that toxic relationship because of the fear that they have. Some of them have fear of being judged. That's why you were talking about religion. The Bible says that thou shalt not divorce, you know. So the fear that maybe your community or your religious group will judge you, so it makes you stay in that particular relationship. Then feelings of guilty also can make someone stick in that particular relationship. There are people that are abused, and when you ask them, they tell you, lakini ni mimi nilimkosea. Mimi ndio nilimkosea ndio akafanya hivi. You know, they are excusing that kind of a behavior because they also have their own guilty feelings, and therefore they are not leaving. Some people don't want to leave because of what touches them. Like maybe if it's a husband and wife, they have children. They feel like, if I leave, what is going to happen to my children? Watoto watafanyikaje? You know, and then family members also hold them together. Family members, you know, the relatives of this side, the relatives of this side, they keep on telling them, vumilia, you know, vumilia, the in-laws and so on. Then there is the push and pull factor, the hot and cold factor, you know. When it is very hot, you feel like you want to leave. But after the hot, it becomes the cold. And actually, there I will tell you about a cycle. There is a cycle or a pattern of abusive relationships. So anyway, that's one reason. Keep it in mind. Then we have low self-esteem. People that just feel, okay, me nikiabusiwa ni sawa tu. You know, there are those people that really don't have high self-esteem. They don't value themselves. They feel unworthy. So therefore, even when they are abused, they don't really see anything wrong with that. Fear of loneliness. Investment. There are people who say, niache hii relationship na vile tumejenga nyumba kubwa hapa, you know, na vile tumejenga nyumba kubwa ama vile tumeinvest ama vile tumefanya hivi na vile, siwezi muachia. I cannot live. And yet these people are battering you and really making you hurt or feeling very hurt. Then the feeling of they are in control. Sometimes when people are abused, when you talk to them, they tell you, but I'm in control. I know what to do. You know, things are not as bad as they look. You know, there are people whom you tell them, but you have a black eye. Say, no, hii ni kidogo tu. You know, they feel like things are not as bad as they look. So there are a number of factors. And then there is the cycle of violence, which is a bit addicting. That cycle of violence is a bit addicting. When violence starts, the first cycle is the tension building. Tension starts building. That's the first cycle. The tension starts building. If you are the victim, you attempt to be calm or to calm your partner. You attempt to nurture. You attempt to you attempt to do things, good things, to be agreeable. You attempt to reason out. You walk on eggshell. You know, you do your best. There is tension, but you don't know what it is. So you are really trying to pamper your partner so that they don't feel or they don't look as they don't have as the tension that they have. So on the other side, the batterer or the person who is now battering the person, they are moody. You find them moody. They withdraw affection. They put you down. They yell. Maybe if they are drinking, they are threatening, you know, they are criticizing you, they destroy property. This is the first cycle where the person who is battering the other one becomes moody. Then this one becomes agreeable. Yeah. You know, the one who is being battered becomes agreeable and tries to do things in the right way. They are walking on eggshell. They're trying to do things in the right way. Then it goes to the next stage, which is explosion, the acute explosion. Everything imefika sasa climax iko hapo. What happens to the batterer? He fights, he chokes you, he humiliates you, he rapes or he verbal abuse or destroys property, or there are many things that he does. Now this is the actual abuse. What happens to the victim? The victim maybe protects himself, maybe, you know, calls the police, maybe tries to calm the batterer down, or tries to reason, or fights back, or sometimes leaves briefly and then comes back. Then ikitoka hapo inaingia stage ambayo ndio addicting. The stage where everything is calm and there is honeymoon. It's like a honeymoon. Yeah. What happens during this particular time? The batterer now, the batterer will beg for forgiveness. You know? And now, when someone has beaten you and they're here begging for forgiveness, you know, you feel like you are in control also. You have some kind of power. So they kneel down, they ask for forgiveness, they say they are sorry, they promise to change, you know, they promise never to do it again, they declare love, they even cry, they bring for you flowers, they bring for you a card, they take you out on a vacation or on a... I am telling you, that's what they do. So they become very humble, they become very good, they become, you know, extremely good.
There's something you talk about, hot and cold, and something of pulling. Unatoka leo. Mimi sitairudi. Unaenda na umerudi.
You know why? Because of this last cycle. Because of this last cycle. When you are battered and when you are in that physical pain, you feel like I cannot anymore. I have to move. But this person comes back. And then starts apologizing. Starts saying ni shetani amenifanya. You know, starts really... He comes with goodies. By the way, he comes with goodies. He comes with very nice things and so on. So he calms you down. So you are hot 1 minute, the next minute you are cold. You are pushed away. The next minute you are pushed in. The push and pull factors. So there is this honeymoon stage, which is very addicting now. To those people that are in that relationship, this period is very, very addicting. Because now the victim agrees to stay. The victim agrees to forgive. Actually, even when people are telling them, you are agreeing to go back there, they say, lakini si amesema hatafanya tena. You know, amesha tubu, amesha fanya hivi, hatarudia. You know, so kuna hiyo period. So if they had even gone to court, ama maybe walikuwa wameshtaki, they will now withdraw the case. You know, they will say hata sitaki tena, you know, tuko sawa, sisi tuko sawa, we are okay, and they feel happy and they are hopeful.
Wow.
Then the cycle starts all over again.
Yeah. Sijui kama ushajikuta kwa mambo kama hayo msikilizaji wangu. Nadhani actually this is very really life touching. And Madam Mghoi, the last part of our question, mambo na career. You know, some partners, they might be too much possessed to their careers than their partners. Hauna time ya familia, hauna time ya watoto wako. Wewe time uko nayo ni hiyo kazi yako. Wewe ni mwanahabari, kazi uko nayo ni ya news peke yake. But hauna time ya familia. Now balancing between career, Madam Joyce, and family or relationships.
Yes.
How do we do this?
It's very key and it's very important for people to know. A career is good. Employment is good because it helps you settle your bills. It helps you, you know, manage yourself. It helps you take your children to school. It gives you food. It gives you accommodation. It gives all that. But you also need to know that a family is number one. Actually, why do we work? We work because of our families. You work because of your children. You work because of your families. You work because of yourself for you to be happy, isn't it? So if this job is not giving you happy and it's not making you happy and it's not giving you time to spend with your spouses or to spend with your children or your family members, what is it for? Really, it loses the value for which it is made to be. So it's very good for people to balance. Work within accepted hours and then spend the other hours with your loved ones. Spend the other hours with your loved ones or spend the other hours with your friends or with your relatives. There must be a balance. There must be a balance. I know we have workaholics, which is also a psychological problem. It is a psychological problem where people are workaholics and they really don't have any proper relationship with their families. They only have relationships with their work. That is also it's a psychological problem. It's a psychological problem that can still be solved, maybe through counseling, maybe through there could be a reason why those people are working like that. Either maybe they're running away from something, or they themselves, there is something that they went through that is making them do that. So there is help. They can be able to get help so that they can be able to balance. There must be balance between work and time off to spend your time with your family members.
It has been so amazing. Lakini kabla tumalize, Madam Mghoi, kuna hapa watu wanasema they have passed through your hands. Anasema I like the show CJ and Madam. Anasema
Yes.
kama si Madam Joyce sijui ningekuwa wapi.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was dating already for 3 years and then heartbroken, but she held me. Sijui nisaidia nani.
Sasa sijui nimesaidia wengi na so I wouldn't know. But I'm happy when I hear this the students or the youth. I'm happy when I hear the youth are empowered because that is empowering someone to be able to make a decision and to be able to know even if this relationship has ended, I can still move on with my life and I can still get a better relationship in future.
Oh, wait, amesema actually move on. Men always open up.
Yes.
Life is yours. And when you commit suicide, she will come to your funeral with another boyfriend.
Committing suicide is solving a temporary problem with a permanent solution, which shouldn't be. This is a temporary problem. It's a temporary problem. It shouldn't be solved permanently. It shouldn't be solved permanently. So if the relationship, I would desire that their relationships work by all means. But if it doesn't work, don't kill yourself there.
There's a message from Madam Mghoi. Madam, kuna watu wengi hapa, they are saying, CJ and Madam, thank you very much, Jamani. Be holding the show almost every time. We enjoying it and it is so touching. And say, Jamani, thank you, Madam Mghoi, for shedding the light on us. We got something from that. Thank you very much. Madam Mghoi, before we call it a day, taifa tunaomboleza.
Yes.
We lost our president, Emilio Mwai Kibaki.
Yes, yes.
Do you remember Mwai Kibaki?
I do. I remember him very well. I remember him very well for being calm, that he wouldn't just answer people, anyhowly, even if people criticize him. He would take his time to be able to respond. Then he was firm in his decisions. He was very, very firm in his decisions. I remember when he was making the roads and there were tractors, there were trucks that were overloading and so on. I think there's things to do with axle. I don't know how many axles and so on. He was very firm and he said, you are not going to overload. And some of them protested and they wanted to go to court. And he said, let's meet in court. You cannot destroy our roads. He made roads. And I really appreciate him for that because even part of his work, our current president has completed. The roads have really been made. So I remember him for that. And then he improved the economy a lot. He improved the economy that even banks started loaning individuals. Initially, banks would not loan individuals, an individual, either salary loan or something like that. They wouldn't. But now they started loaning. So he improved the economy and therefore a lot of progress has been made. CJ, before I go.
Your last one.
My last one.
Yeah.
How can you end a toxic relationship? How can you end a toxic relationship? And by the way, CJ, there is a lot to do with even the brain in terms of a toxic relationship. The frontal lobe, the amygdala, the hippocampus. There is a lot to do with that. But now, we'll talk about it another time. Yeah. For now, I just want to say, how can you end a toxic relationship?
In 2 to 3 minutes.
Yes, actually, very few minutes. Number one, focus on facts.
Yeah.
Focus on facts. If the person is cheating, no, it is cheating. If he's unkind, if he's violent, if he's taking drugs, focus on facts. Know the facts. Usiseme tu ananitreat vibaya ama niliambiwa ama nilisikia ama focus on facts. Get to know the focus the real facts. Because kazi ya macho haina kuambiwa. If you see it, if you have evidence, that is it. Number two, focus on what you feel when they do that. When they abuse you, what do you feel? Write those feelings down. What do you feel when they abuse you? What do you feel when they do those things that they do? And then give facts and reasons why you need to leave. Give reasons why you need to.
And facts. Yeah.
Give reasons why you need to leave. When you do that, you free yourself.
Wow. It's amazing, Madam Joyce Mghoi.
Yes.
Amemaliza. Umemaliza?
Nimemaliza.
Kuna kitu ungetaka kusema in just 30 seconds?
No, not really. We just need to empathize with ourselves and others. Wow. And when we do that, our relationships will be good.
That is so amazing, Madam Joyce. Amemaliza kila kitu. Lakini we are here. We got to cover in every Tuesday. Msikilizaji, hivi na vile mambo ya songi, usicheze mbali, usitie shaka, atakuwa hapa akikwambia mambo mengi kadri siku zinazidi kusonga. But in the meantime,
they can also suggest what they want us to discuss.
Exactly.
They can suggest.
Kama uko na topic pale una feel like jamani want this to be discussed, suggest, na itakuwa ni sawa tena sana. Kukumbusha tu mambo ambayo tumezungumza hapa yatakuwa kwa YouTube channel
Touch of Grace KE. They can be able to get all this information there. Touch of Grace KE.
Of course, kama ungetaka kuchangia mjadala na kusema kitu chochote, tunakumbusha kuwa nambari ya SMS iko wazi 0114506611. Pia mitandao ya kijamii kama Chuka Universe Radio pale Twitter, Instagram na Facebook. Mambo itakuwa ni tamu tena zaidi. Jamani msikilizaji, thank you very much. Niite Sije sote ni Asiba mtoto na mama. Tunarejea baada ya habari na Silas Kiboy.